So as you're no doubt aware, E3 2020 technically isn't happening. But that's no problem, because the publishers have had streams which substitute the experience. Now, there's a lot of these lined up, and at the time of recording, and hopefully publishing, not all of these conferences have happened. But my rebuttal to this is that all the conferences that I care about have already happened, with the exception of Ubisoft, but let's face it, the only title of theirs I give a shit about is Watch Dogs Legion. That game would have been out already if it weren't for Ubisoft completely shitting the bed with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So, to come clean, this is a video about the new generation of consoles, but I also get to put Cyberpunk 2077 in the tags. Yay! Relevancy! So, with the console war heating up again, we have the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Each have their own hardware reveal, with both reveals setting the internet on fire in a race to compare the game things to the not game things. But I've compiled some of the jokes about the designs of these consoles and made it into a poem. Take a listen. To collect all the memes, that is my quest. Let us talk about the Xbox, Series S, Refrigerator, Jenga, SpongeBob, Cement Brick, Table Leg, Rocket Launcher, Minecraft Dick Pic. This poem makes me wish that I wasn't alive. So now let's talk about the PS5. Wi-Fi router, 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 waifu. Microsoft revealed some of the upcoming games for the Series X, and plot twist, there's actually some console exclusives at this one. The one that caught my attention with its trailer was The Ascent, which winning me over with what I see to be the right amount of Cyberpunk, which is to say, any amount of Cyberpunk. But I'm glad they went with that trailer, because I can't say that the gameplay has me bouncing off the walls. Then again, I suppose all the gameplay had to do was convince us that it wasn't going to be like Contra Rogue Core, but the underground, lawless future city could maybe satisfy the people who are a wee bit salty about level 1313 getting cancelled. But on the Sony side of Cyberpunk aesthetics, which are ignored in favour of, well, Cyberpunk, we have Stray, a game which, from what I can tell, is a platformer starring a cat, in a world where humanity appears to have gone extinct and robots have constructed their own society. I think this game actually looks really interesting, which is surprising because I'm never really interested in a cat unless it has the word girl next to it. And it looks like this game can only really be rendered on PS5, because here's what the gameplay looks like on a PS4. As you can see, bit of a graphical step down if you ask me. Although on the subject of extinction, Second Extinction, Reclaim Earth asks the question, what if we made a zombie game but we have dinosaurs instead of zombies? The game is a co-op survival shooter, and as bland as that sounds, I know a thing that can fix it, and that thing is VJME.
Dinosaurs.
Meanwhile,
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Goodbye Volcano High looks to be a game that is so predictable I may have accidentally become fascinated with it. I have no intention of buying it, but given how games similar to this have gone, this is going to be a fucking meme goldmine. Thankfully, this was not the only thing that Sony had to offer, as they appeared to be coming out swinging. To be more precise, web swinging. Despite only really being an expanded version of Spider-Man PS4, essentially Spider-Man Royal, Spider-Man Miles Morales is looking to be one of the best titles coming to the PS5. Some would say that this is a sign I need to get a PS5, but instead, this game is a sign that I still need to watch Spider-Verse, haven't watched it. Fuck's sake. Since Naughty Dog don't seem to be making a launch title for the system, the title of system seller appears to have gone to Horizon Forbidden West, and it does look rather splendid. It has a bit more room to breathe this time since it's not being put up against Breath of the Wild, and has revitalised interest in the franchise so hard, I went out and got a copy of Zero Dawn. Now that I phrase it like that, it sounds kinda sad. Microsoft have their fair share of exclusives as well, including Scorn. Scorn is described to be directly inspired from H.R. Geiger, which is the understatement of the bloody decade. Frankly, the title is the only thing that indicates this isn't a game set in the Alien universe, and even then I'm barely convinced. Bright Memory Infinite is the second most convoluted title on display, just behind Vampire, The Masquerade, Bloodlines 2. The video game. But Bright Memory Infinite does look nice, although I swear they used the COD hit marker sound effect. Montage parodies for days. And on the subject of the things that the COD developers were responsible for, the grappling hook, advanced movement, and futuristic weapons are reminding me of a certain game that I can't find it in myself to shut up about. But yeah, big up China Fall 2. I don't really have high hopes for Chorus. It's not only the part where the styling of the V is meant to distract us from the fact this is a sci-fi game with a piece of musical terminology as the title. Those always go down so well. It's also the fact that I genuinely thought this was just an alternative trailer for Star Wars Squadrons. And that's a shame, because I don't really give a shit about either Star Wars Squadrons or Chorus. Assassin's Creed Valhalla hasn't really caught my attention in any major way. I'm only mentioning it so I can do this. Man, Vinland Saga 2 looks a bit shit. Now, a game based on one of the most successful properties of the 21st century that has generated billions of dollars. How do people feel about it? I mean, I guess there's a few neat references. A game based on a literal board game. Fucking get in, mate! Cyberpunk 2077 had the first episode of Night City Wire the other day, and I suppose I should talk about where my Wi-Fi crashed. Around about the end of the first dev insight, I had to exit out of my tab to reconnect. However, when I reopened the stream, I was greeted with this. This doesn't look like Poland to me. Wait, why the fuck are they talking about anime? Fucking what, mate? So yeah, Studio Trigger is working with Netflix to produce a cyberpunk anime that's coming out in 2022. Although, given how localization is with Netflix, it'll ironically be 2077 before it gets released here. As for new information, we know that the background you choose will affect your starting quests. While something in me wants to choose Nomad so I can roleplay as Xavier Renegade Angel, I think that if I keep dying in this game, then I'll constantly be shitting my heart. I personally think that Corporate is the best route. Why?
Fuck's your problem, Psycho Sue? This look like a landing pad to you? Could've fucking crushed us.
That interaction was fucking hilarious and I can't explain why. Nintendo advertised that they're adding a character that they wanted to be way more popular than they ended up being into Smash, and Apex Legends makes people actually pick Lifeline. Finally, we have Pragmata, a game that everyone has said gives them Death Stranding vibes, myself included. We're all kind of unsure what this will be about, but many people have speculated, and I suggest that we keep speculating, because it's gonna come out in 2022. And if it's a Strand type game, then when it comes out, the gameplay's gonna be filing out a tax return.